let's talk about like some of the practical aspects when you train your neural networks. So we'll talk about like different concepts which you should be aware of. So as we discussed, like you will use stochastic gradient descent, and what's going to happen is, since you're training on like a mini batch, so whatever decision you make, like, or whatever updates you have taken, like using those samples, it might not lead to like a local minima, right? It might not always reduce the loss function, because that decision was not based on all the samples, right? It was based on only those few samples. So it might go in any direction. So when you actually train your network and you try to plot your loss values, so let me try to explain this curve over here, and you'll have to do this a lot when you train your networks. The x-axis is the iteration, okay, starting from zero when you initialize the network. As you move towards the right, it's showing you like iterations, and if it's like 500 iterations per epoch, then at 500 it's like your one epoch, right? But that's fine. We will use like both the terms to plot this. You can use epochs as well. You can use iterations as well. Iterations is actually better because that gives you like fine-grained visualization. So that's x-axis. Y-axis is the loss value. Okay, so what's your loss? And we want to minimize the loss. And as you initialize randomly, you will have like a very high amount of loss at the beginning. So ignore like this negative sign. It's just like the loss value you have, and you can have different loss functions, right? So the values will depend on that. So you will start with a very high loss, and as you move towards the right, you train your network, your loss value should reduce. That's what you're aiming for, right? That's how you are taking like those mini steps for each parameter. So your loss should ideally go down. But as I said, you're not training your network like on all the images at once. You are taking like a mini batch at once. So it could be your loss is actually not always going down if you try to validate that on the testing samples or the validation samples. So you will see something like this. So this is like more realistic. You can see it's going down, then again going up. Okay, so it will have like some kind of stochasticity there, but eventually you can look at the overall trend. It's actually reducing. Okay, and then it's kind of a stable here. So this is like a very natural looking loss curve, which you will have to analyze when you train your neural networks. Okay, but still I think it will converge over time. That's what I said.